What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. Tyson Fury said this about Deontay Wilder recently, as of 3 hours ago. Quote, "I've got no love for Deontay Wilder at all. I think he's a piece of shit, but I don't think any of the other heavyweights can beat Deontay Wilder. There's only one man who can beat him, and that's me. I think he annihilates the rest of them." Those are the words of Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. Now let me counterpunch. I don't blame Tyson Fury for having the type of mindset for Deontay Wilder at this point because of the accusations, because that's what it's from. You know, it's not, and of course the accusations came the insults. So that's kind of like a bundle, okay? That's a bundle effect. And vice versa. You know, I don't think that Deontay Wilder cares for him either, especially if he believes like that Tyson Fury cheated him. So both of these guys hate each other, right? Or very, very much dislike each other. And moving on, you think that he is the only one that can beat Deontay Wilder. Listen, let me give you guys a backstory, a little cheat sheet for you. Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz are in the same boat, okay? Deontay Wilder didn't fight White. He didn't fight Ruiz. He didn't fight Joshua. He didn't fight any of the Klitschko's to actually jumpstart his career like all the two other heavyweights, and look at them now. In fact, he fought a lot of guys that weren't up to speed, weren't really recognized. He picked the fighters that were lower to mediocre. No one really stuck out. He never snatched a torch away from any of the guys that were reigning, like the Klitschko's. In fact, his management team didn't want him to fight those guys, regardless of what he wanted or not, because that's what was told to me, that he wanted the Klitschko fight. Well, Klitschko wasn't impressed or wasn't even really bothered by him. And then the energy, I don't feel that was there really, honestly, because when Klitschko fought Joshua, Wilder was right there. He could have called out Klitschko. Joshua was calling out Fury. So that tells you, like, well, he had a slow start in his progress in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? You can't blame his team you can't blame the team for all of it, but you can't blame him for all of it. I think that, like, both him with low ambition or whatnot, or low drive or desire, or allowed his team to dictate his career. And this is how we have it. See, the loss is so devastating at this point because everything else that was built of was possibilities. Yes, I picked Deontay Wilder to catch White with the right hand before White catches him with the left hook, right? But that fight's still not a wash, okay? Just like we'll never know how they fought. You can believe, you can think, you can predict that Wilder can do this to these guys, but they have to fight these guys first. And Wilder didn't have that resume. The only thing that stuck out with Wilder is his resume, his record, and the right hand, the way he was knocking these guys out. But really, who were these guys? These guys had rankings like watching a damn baseball game. Okay, really. A lot of these guys you never heard of. When he knocked them out, you really never seen them again. Maybe a half a dozen of those guys you did actually hear about. The rest, the other 25, 30 fighters, you never even heard of these guys. So that affected his credibility as a fighter. A lot of people didn't really know him like these other guys just kind of popped up on the scene and they did something significant. He didn't have that. So that will always be an empty check by his name, that he never grabbed the fame by the balls like these other two guys did. Now, Luis Ortiz is in the same boat because the only person to really that Wilder beat of significance is Luis Ortiz. But the problem with Ortiz is the same problem Deontay Wilder has. They haven't fought anyone else, really. Counterpunch. You know what I mean? Yeah, mediocre guys. I mean, Bryant Jennings, Ortiz beat him, Malik Scott, you know what I mean? Like the Wilder diver. That guy, I mean, but like who else really was significant that they beat? Did they beat a White, or did they beat Pulev? Did they beat Klitschko? Did they beat any of those three other guys that I mentioned? Wilder, Joshua, or Fury? Did they beat any of those guys? No. Okay, but here's the thing. Tyson Fury has 2 really credible wins under his belt. Think about it. Klitschko, Wilder. So, for Tyson Fury saying that I feel that he can beat him, I think he's supposed to say that. I think Tyson Fury's supposed to say some shit like, I think that Wilder beats everyone else. Why? Because he's the other top name of the person that he's beat. As long as you've beat a guy as long as you're the only one to beat a guy, you can always claim that. Look at Wilder. He's doing the same shit. Fight Ortiz. Y'all, he beat his old ass then. But no one else had that opportunity yet. Ortiz has fought a bunch of Alexander Flores. Who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like who is that really? You know what I mean? Like another diver, right? But I mean, you haven't heard of this guy, and then they're feeding these easy fights to these guys to feed these narratives because it looks good for another fighter. But for Tyson Fury to say that, I think that's premature and not really well thought out, because in the same breath, as you can remember, Tyson Fury says Deontay Wilder hasn't fought anyone and he's a bum anyway. So he went from not fighting anyone that's a bum, but then again, you beat him, then you think he'll beat everyone else by default. Bullshit. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Tyson Fury's statement. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.